Hello class. So today we're going to sort of review what makes up an argument, but then we're also going to talk about inductive arguments because that's what your next major paper is about. It's about inductive arguments. All right, quick review. The basics of any argument includes a thesis. All right, and a thesis is one sentence. So for an inductive argument, which is right here, all right, so this information here. No, come back. Based on the evidence presented, this is my opinion. All right. So an inductive argument is looking at a lot of information. It's looking at a lot of small information. All right. And so in my thesis here, given that golden retrievers and schnauzers have wildly different temperaments, for my lifestyle, schnauzers are the best dogs because they are smart, tenacious, and independent. All right, so I'm looking at another side. There's a different side. Somebody else in the world thinks that golden retrievers are the best dogs, right? And the reason is because they have very different temperaments, right? And then making the argument that for me, schnauzers are the best dogs because of their smart, tenacious, and independent, right? So that's what an inductive argument thesis looks like. All right, it's looking at based on this evidence that's been presented. This is my opinion. Now, a reminder that all arguments have to have good evidence. Right? Got to have logos evidence, pathos evidence, ethos evidence. Right? Any good argument has to have an opposition and a refutation, which is fantastic because in an inductive argument, you have to present both of those sides, just in the nature of what an inductive argument does. Okay? All right, and again, your argument has to exist in the world somewhere. It can't just be in a vacuum. All right, it has to apply somewhere in what's going on in the world because you're joining a larger conversation. All right, so now I'm going to skip to inductive argument. All right, so an inductive argument is really when you're looking at a lot of information, like a lot of non-causal information. All right, you see inductive arguments being used all the time. And so it's usually when you're looking at trends or a lot of conflicting data or opinions, when you're looking at a lot of small facts, and then you have to, based on all these little small facts, come to a conclusion. All right, it's called making an inductive leap. And I'll give you an example. All right, so I want you to think, let's say you have a significant other. All right, and your significant other, you start noticing that, last week, your significant other canceled the regular Saturday brunch that you guys have planned to go golfing with his new coworker. We're going to assume your significant other is his new coworker Sam. All right, and so they're going golfing. All right, and you notice that a couple 3 weeks later, you notice that when you're hanging out with your significant other, that your significant other is looking at texts a lot, like more than used to. And maybe you notice that your significant other, is texting somebody else a lot more. And when you ask, you're like, who are you texting? Oh, well, it's my coworker Sam. He sent me this link, blah, 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 blah. Right? Or maybe you notice that when you're hanging out with your significant other starts to like put the phone face down. Right, in a way that didn't used to do. Or, maybe you start noticing that sorry for the momentary pause. Okay, so maybe it's nothing you can really actually put your finger on, but you just sort of feel like your significant other is just paying a little bit less attention to you. And and so you talk to your significant other, and your significant other's like, baby, you wanted me to be really out there and be able to be ambitious, and that takes time. Right, and I need to go and I need to meet with people, and I go to the golf course and we make deals, and I go and have dinner with people and make deals. And I'm spending a lot of extra time at the office, and I can see why you're sort of feeling kind of weird about it, but it's because I'm trying to move up the career ladder, and there's only 24 hours in the day, and so I have to figure out if I want to be ambitious, then I can't be spending all my time with you. Right. And so there's another set of reasons, explanations for the same behavior. Right? But before we got to the part where the significant other is like, well, okay, but all those things can be explained, you probably were on the theory of, dude, he's cheating on you. right? Because you're making an inductive leap, right? The other side looks at the same data, right, the same behavior, and comes to a different conclusion. All right, so and that's what an inductive argument is. It's looking at this at small discrete pieces. So this information, this data could mean this, but if you look at the same data in a different way, it could mean that. All right, and so that's that's what an inductive argument is. It's looking at both sides and then coming to a conclusion. So in this example, all right, so your significant other says, baby, I'm just really busy at work trying to make enough money so that we can, get married and have a big house someday, right? And you say, okay, but what's the thing about putting your phone face down? Like, you didn't used to do that. And, and then if your significant other doesn't have a real good answer for that, then, maybe that's a different, now you maybe got your smoking gun, right? Or whatever it is. Okay, but an inductive argument, the important piece of this is that the thesis is delayed, right? It's at the end, right? And the reason it's delayed is because first you're looking at one side, and then you're looking at the other side, and maybe you're looking at a third side, and maybe there's even a fourth side, right? Lots of different perspectives, right? And then you're looking at the different points of view, and then you're coming to the conclusion of, okay, this is what I think is happening. All right, so maybe, for example, for a third side, your point of view is that you're seeing your significant other suddenly paying less attention to you, texting other people, is out with other people more often than your significant other used to be. The second side is, yeah, I'm out with other people more often because I'm doing all these things, and yes, I'm texting these other people, but it's nothing to worry about. A third point of view might be your best friend comes up to you and goes, that Sam person that your significant other says is spending all the time with. Yeah, so Sam's a pretty androgynous name, just so you know, right? And so now you've got sort of the third point of view of now there's some more suspicion being heaped on by your friend, and do you want to look like a fool in front of your friend, that kind of thing, right? So there's different perspectives now tied into this relationship. Right, and then in your conclusion, do you trust your significant other or not? Do you ask to meet this Sam person to find out what does it really look like, etc. So you make the argument that this is what should happen, all right, or this is what this really means. All right, so really means that he's really, really busy and, he's not stepping out on me. It's just, this is a time in our life where we're both really focused on our careers, right? Or alternately, come to the conclusion, no, dude, he's totally stepping out on you, and you have to decide whether or not that's acceptable to you, right? So that's what an inductive argument is. It's looking at different points of information, or different points of view, same information, coming to a conclusion. Okay, so let me know what questions you have about inductive argument. We are going to be writing an ethical argument using the inductive style, right? And so please look at the assignment for that and the walkthrough for that to help you figure out how you're going to write your inductive argument. Thanks.